Welcome to the special presentation this evening titled The Midas Touch Challenge Revealed. My name is Todd Schaefer, Manager of Research for VectorVest, and I'll be providing a presentation this evening. On January 23rd of this year, we invited all VectorVest subscribers to enter the Midas Touch Challenge, a contest whose goal is to create and submit a trading system via backtest that outperforms our benchmark. Before we get started, I just wanted to express my gratitude to all those who worked so hard to develop their entries. I hope you had a lot of fun and learned a little along the way. Your overwhelming response was very gratifying. Here's a sample of a note we received. This was a very interesting challenge. I confess that for the first couple days I could not do better than your score of 63.51, but I did not give up. I must have tried over 100 search variations coupled with different sort options along with different stop criteria. After I finally beat your 63.51 score, I continued to try to beat my own score. But this was the best I could do. Thanks for providing this Midas Touch challenge because it stretched my thinking and use of the VectorVest tools to fine-tune a trading plan. Kind regards, Sam M. Thank you, Sam, for that fantastic feedback, and you touched on it. We like to run these contests because it stretches our thinking and our use of the VectorVest tools. So for tonight's presentation, we have a little bit of ground to cover. First of all, we're going to divulge the secret sauce of our contest benchmark, which we've kept secret up to this point, but now you can see how we achieved that fantastic performance in that beautiful equity curve. Next, we'll announce the third place winner of our contest, and we'll also review their trading plan. We'll also reveal how you can easily replicate their work. And that way you too can learn from their example and even go beyond. So if that sounds good to you, let's begin in our backtester and our contest benchmark. From the home page of the program, we'll come up to our backtester tab and click. And here we've loaded our benchmark backtest. This was the baseline performance you had to beat to enter our contest. And just to review, this Midas Touch trading plan didn't use any market timing, ran from the date of January 2nd, 2013 to January 15th, 2015. We achieved 44% winners, an overall gain of 69.91%, which annualized to 34.37%, and had a max drawdown of 7.10%. And while we didn't consider it for analyzing performance, it traded about 459 trades, which would be about 20 trades a month. Looking at its equity curve, we had this beautiful progression of bottom left to upper right performance of this equity curve over the 2-year period. The biggest drawdown looks like it came here in early 2014, but even so, a max drawdown of just 7% is very tolerable. So how did we achieve this result? Well, let's click on the edit key and we'll find out. We begin by leaving all of our account settings at their defaults. A $100,000 portfolio, a $9.95 commission per trade, no use of margin or interest, executing our buys and sells at the next day's open in daily pricing mode. Next, we turn to the trading system. And we see that we use no market timing, so we're always long. And for that long rule, we used our can-searched Midas Touch VST divided by RT descending. That was the search, and we used a stop criteria. A recommendation is not a buy. And so here's our secret sauce, because if you remember in the VectorVest system, to get a buy rating, a stock has to pass 4 rules. First of all, its price needs to be above its stop price. Secondly, price must be accelerating faster than the stop price or pulling away from it. Third, the VST score has to be above 1. And fourth, the RT score has to be above 1. If any of those 4 rules are not in place, then the stock will lose its buy rating. So this keeps us in those Midas Touch stocks that are continuing to surge, closing them out at the first sign of weakening by virtue of their buy rating. Let's take a look at the portfolio settings. We maintain 10 positions, automatically replacing. We didn't limit the number of positions opened on a daily basis. We used the average portfolio value with odd lots. And we limited repurchases of stocks that we currently own. We scroll down. We can see that we don't buy the stock if it violates the stop criteria at purchase. In other words, we'll only buy rated stocks in the portfolio. And we use the default limit of a 10% max of the stock's average volume. And there you have it. A very simple but effective trading plan. In fact, Dr. DeLito commented, "We're intrigued by these trading systems that show outstanding profit potential and low drawdown." And who wouldn't like that 34% annualized rate of return with just a 7% drawdown? And so the contest was born. So this is our benchmark. Let's see how our third place winner approached the challenge. Tonight's winner is Mr. Ed S., and he enclosed this note with his entry, which I thought was very helpful. He writes, "This contest was fun and interesting due to the dynamic nature of the Midas Touch watch list, the 2-year span, and the fact that there had been quite a few Strategy of the Weeks covering various Midas Touch approaches, and a few VectorVest view overviews discussing usage of the Midas Touch. It's always good to get out of the daily routine and to explore VectorVest capabilities since there are so many possibilities. Thanks, Ed S." And thank you, Ed, because you point out that you're obviously a student of the VectorVest system. He's watched those Strategy of the Week presentations and read the VectorVest Views essays from Dr. DeLito and applied those tools successfully to his contest entry, but I'd also wager to his trading success as well. And I would offer for your consideration, those Strategy of the Week presentations are archived in the VectorVest University, as are all of the previous VectorVest Views essays. But I know you're anxious to see how Ed's backtest performed, so let's move back into the program. And here it is. If we begin with our performance metrics, we see that Ed used the confirmed calls for his timing signal. He had 79.17% winners, an average annual gain of 134%, a drawdown of 14.21%, but only some 37 trades over the 2-year period. Now we'll compare these metrics to our benchmark here in the next slide, but let's take a look at that equity curve. That bottom left to upper right performance, that smooth performance we're looking for, we went a little flat here in the middle of 2014, but not a lot of volatility in that equity curve. The biggest pull down in that summer of 14 at 14%. So let's take a look at Ed's secret sauce, and we'll begin with his custom search. To show you that, let's move over to the Unisearch tool. Here I've loaded his search, and we will be loading this search into our database. We'll rename it Midas Touch-EMS, so you can find it in the cherry picking group. But he begins in a very straightforward manner, eliminating the minor exchanges, eliminating contra ETFs, starting with our Midas Touch watch list, eliminating contra ETFs, making sure that we had over 100,000 shares of average volume, and he increased our minimum stock price requirement from $1 to $2. But as you've heard us say hundreds of times, the most powerful part of any search is the sort. And so Ed used price ascending. You may recognize this is the same sort we used in our Surefire Success search, S&P 500 stop ascending. And so this brings to the top of the list of our search return the lowest price stocks meeting the search criteria. Now the one thing we have to guard against using historical prices is because when we have a stock split, we adjust the historical price. We want to add one line of criteria to the search that says that the stocks price actual at the time of search, is the same as the stock split adjusted price. This assures that we're eliminating then any stocks that are artificially low because they had a stock split after the search date. Now let's return to the back test and see the settings that Ed used for his trading plan. We'll click the edit button, and here we can see that Ed used the confirm calls as his timing signal. If we click on the customize button, we'll see the details. For the up conditions, he bought long, used his custom search. He applied a stop criteria of a 300% gain and a 50% loss. So he really gave this Midas Touch stock some wide berth. There's more settings. He started off with 10 positions, not automatically replacing. Opened all at the same time. On the turns, he didn't close any positions, so he's going to try to hold through the downs. He invested the average portfolio value, odd lots, not repurchasing any stocks he currently owns, and again limiting his stock's average volume to 10%. Now, interestingly enough, here's another twist on the confirmed down calls. Should any of his long positions stop out from the up call, he's going to replace them buying long using his same long search, but assigning a tighter stop loss of a 15% gain and a 5% loss. For these downturns, we're still buying 10 positions, although replacing them now. Not limiting how many we purchase, not closing any on the turn. Again, average value, odd lots. No repurchases of stocks we currently own, and again limiting max volume to 10%. And so we'll click Finish. And let's compare how this portfolio performed versus our contest portfolio using our scoring tool. So here's a slide with our trading system score utility box. And we see the top line is our model portfolio and its performance metrics. And on the second line, our sample portfolio from Ed and his performance metrics. And we see that Ed handily beat the threshold for the score that he needed to do his entry. And for those of you who submitted entries, you know what an accomplishment this value of 680.39 is on that score. Now, the purpose of the trading system score tool is to normalize portfolio performance to get balanced performance. And so it considers not only the total gain, but also how consistently does it find winners? How much drawdown does it have? What's the relationship of that drawdown to gain with the Kalmar ratio? And so we can see with Ed's fantastic score of 680.39, that was enough to secure him third place and a $1,000 prize. And if you would like to take a look at Ed's performance and try to replicate it on your own, we've made it very easy. Simply go back into the back tester, click on New, and you'll find that we've added Ed's backtest as an existing trading system in our templates tool, and we've named it Midas Touch-EMS. Simply click on that line and we can import his trading plan. So there you have it, our third place winner. Congratulations to Ed. And I invite you to come back for our future special presentations where we'll explore the second and first place winners whose performance was even better than Ed's, if you can believe that. So until then, I'll wish you continued growth and learning in the VectorVest tool, and have a great weekend.